Hey, this is Raise Radio, the holistic wisdom podcast for awakening women that weaves food and nutrition, traditional wisdom, spiritual expansion, so that you can feel your best, body, mind, and soul. I'm your host, Raina Lutz. Let's dig in. Hey, welcome to Raise Radio. For 11 years, I wore dreadlocks. And that sent a message that I was a recreational cannabis advocate and user. And I wasn't. I'm a healing advocate. So I figured I'd best talk about this. Business-wise, as a practitioner, and as a human. So for many years, I was consistently subject to people making assumptions about me and my relationship to cannabis. It's been difficult for me because it's such a multi-layered issue. It's a social issue, a political issue, an emotional and spiritual issue. Now, you might assume that I'm going to be talking about how everyone needs cannabis or how healing a natural product is and why it's the best thing since sliced bread. Well, I've actually taken a different stance on it, and that's because no one needs it. And I'll tell you why. Now, here's my disclaimer. If people are using cannabis for medical reasons, that is absolutely out of my scope of practice, and it's not what I'm speaking to here. I repeat, I am not speaking to medical cannabis use. But my personal opinion, business aside, I have very different views on this medicine, and it comes in many layers. So, you can't just blanket statement saying, I'm anti this, I'm pro this. Every issue that comes to me, there's very layered answers and usually just more questions. So when clients would come to me and saying, oh, well, so-and-so said I should just get this strain, it would help me with this. What do you think? Do you think I should do that? My first question would be like, do you think that you need to do that? And who told you that? Right? Where did you get that from? And is that person a trusted wellness source? Is that person who has overcome the issue that you're working on? Are you doing other things to help support that issue? Or is this just a quick fix? Right? So we got to kind of be like, well, who's selling this idea to me and what's there? What's in it for them? So I'm not pro-cannabis, but I'm not anti-cannabis. I am anti-corporate. And the growing obsession with CBD has been a really interesting watch, a mixed bag. It was like, it doesn't get you high. So this version of medical marijuana went mainstream as all the venture capitalists and the scam artists and the multi-level marketers really dove headfirst into the riches that awaited them in this hemp CBD market. And the pharmaceutical crowd went straight to demanding proprietary medicines getting approved by the FDA. So, the establishment taking over anything to regulate it has pros and cons. For this industry, I have seen so many cons. I'm going to list some of them today. I even have more that I won't have time to get into today on my Instagram at Raina Dawn Lutz, Raina Dawn Lutz. I have a highlight on my Instagram feed with things that I've seen, very questionable practices that I've seen and heard of from these places. So, another huge layer within this industry, regardless of it affecting us, is just the waste created from their industry. So not just to grow, but also to package, distribute, and market. If you partake and you purchase a product that contains your item not only in plastic, but also in a box, is there alternatives to that? Right? The last thing we need is more stuff. And today, one has to just look around to realize that the government at every level, federal, state, and local, is with increasing regularity inserting itself into literally every aspect of our personal lives. And I just can't get behind that. The more popular cannabis gets, the more people look into trying it, which is normal and expected. But those who would never have touched cannabis in the past are now somehow excited by it, as if it's something new and exciting, just because the government told them that now it's okay. Marijuana being marketed and sold to us as a fun-enhancing lifestyle. That's exhausting. It's been painted to somehow represent freedom and fun, like we'll all be prancing through meadows, high as a kite and happy. Isn't this the same message we get from ads for Prozac? So if it's truly medicine and in the exact same ilk as medicine as they need us to believe, then the mixed messages in marketing that they're sending are conflicting. Because if you're a medical user, you aren't prancing, you're coping. And recreational marijuana all day, that's not a lifestyle. That's just being medicated. So the second it went legal, the counterculture label was dropped. Sorry, kids, you got ripped off. It's not cool anymore. But just like food advertising and fast fashion online, we need to be able to see through marketing and not be fooled by it, not be bought and sold. When I get asked in a serious space, like a consultation with a client, people are generally frustrated when I can't offer a simple answer. They want me to say, yes, it's a cure-all. Yes, buy this and your problems will go away. And to confirm or validate the marketing that they've been given around this product. And I don't have simple answers. Anyone who says they do is lying to you for marketing purposes. And I'm even more unlikely to know about most of the products because A, I don't go into dispensaries, and B, most of the companies that sell CBD or otherwise, they're new. They don't have a history. And there's new ones popping up every day. And a lot of them pop up in my inbox to want me to sell for them. PSA, no thanks. And another issue, I can't even do proper research on this for people because it doesn't exist yet. And that was one of the big pulls to get legalization. I had many, many people tell me that, legalization is so, so needed. Then we'll be able to have this huge branch of new science where we can have tons of studies on what it does and what it's good for. And this is just so, 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 so good. We need this. Well, last year I took a Canna neuro course by a neuroscientist, and he let us know that 5 years in, post-legalization, we still have virtually no studies. None. And that was a year ago, so now 6 years post-legalization, and there's still just too much red tape for any proper research. So, this CBD is being touted as a cure-all, slap it on your face, eat it, put it everywhere. It's not. It's not a cure-all for everything you're dealing with. It's just a trendy addition that is being marketed to you, and just because some girl on TikTok said so doesn't make it so. That's just not how this works. We do know that CBD alone isn't as effective as whole plant medicines. Like plants always work best, whether it's food, plants, they always work best in a whole form. Right? So it's the same way, and supplements too. Like they're not as effective as getting it from a whole food. There's just complexities in how everything works together in nature. And so many of the CBD products on the market are essentially expensive garbage. Testing labs have found this not so surprising result that a lot of them contained pesticides, heavy metals, inaccurately labeled potency, and some of them, actually many was the word, many of them contained no traceable CBD at all. Whew! I mean, placebo is real, and that's one thing, but, charging people money for it, telling them it's this and it's not. Yikes. So, I don't like that. I don't like people being scammed. That hurts me. And we have to be really careful these days about where we're spending our money. So unfortunately, I do have an Instagram post that shocked people, but also needed to be said, which was beware of government-grown marijuana. My belief is rooted in both the holistic view and the natural nutrition view of medicine, which is that medicine can be both medicine and poison. And this principle acknowledges the wide variety of ways in which people seek to fulfill purpose in their lives. All medicines and substances can also be used as poison. There's so much power in how we view our choices. So here's some of my thoughts. Cannabis is not new. It's not cool. I'm using air quotes because it's trending. I'm using air quotes, and it's not a cure-all. Medical marijuana, it's what the body craves. This is what you're going to be told. It's for sales, right? This is all marketing. The reason that so many people are going sober now is obviously health reasons, but people started to see through their marketing too. It was like, this isn't sexy. Like, alcohol has been marketed as this like cool, sexy thing for decades. And, when you see people falling over enough, you're like, yeah, there's nothing cool about this anymore. I'm for growth. I'm not for stunting or covering up symptoms of a deeper problem. And then I have some thoughts on, if you're going to do it anyway, here's just what to keep in mind. So, this has been the people's medicine since the dawn of time. I reached out to a couple really, really smart women to put together this article that I wrote years and years ago. And one of the women I reached out to is a herbalist based out of Kelowna, CJR Acupuncture. Her name is Katrina, and she's incredibly knowledgeable about herbs. And so I just asked her a bunch of questions about her opinion on marijuana, cannabis as medicine, her, research on it. What were her thoughts? And she shared with me that cannabis can be overused and disruptive in many instances, and other herbs can be actually more appropriate for a lot of the ways it is purported to support mental health. She said there's a lot of complexity here because it can be helpful, but it can also turn foe and let people mask and seclude, resisting deeper healing. So just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's the best new thing that you need to be doing. And, if you consider expensive government-controlled pesticide-heavy altered plants as natural, and I'm not saying that it can't be a healer for those who truly need it. Plant medicine is powerful. But the point I'm trying to make here is that there are so many other root causes, potential nutritional deficiencies, or emotional work that can be done that is just, if we're not doing those things, then this is just yet another Band-Aid to cover up the symptoms of those deeper problems, right? And those other things we can bring support to. So like any other medicine, it doesn't necessarily cure all your ails. Medical marijuana, it's what the body craves. So this kind of thinking sets people up for failure right out the gate, because big marijuana and the government hopped on this train, taking people's medicine. The marketing about it reminds me of that scene in Idiocracy where people are so conditioned to repeat and believe as truth this phrase they've been sold by corporations who just need them to believe that no matter what. So marijuana is not a cure-all. It is not even a cure most. By itself and without any other care, with the root issue in mind, it's only as good as all the other components in the arena of wellness. So, for instance, nutrition on its own isn't as helpful as improving your nutrition and getting some more exercise, right? As with all other herbal remedies, diet and lifestyle also play a huge role in how effective it can be for healing. But often we can't make changes in this arena because of past traumas that are playing out. It's challenging for us to get out of the norm and get out of our habits that we formed for ourselves. We have been manipulated by industries our whole life and our profit-driven healthcare system to believe in a so-called magic bullet. Solutions the like of pharmaceutical drugs and marijuana products alike. Yes, these are listed in the same category, but are they in the same category? Am I meant to believe that it's a fun lifestyle and also a healing medicine? So, like any medicine, to get the best results, you must first understand what it is, how it works, identify your need to explore it, and bring in lots of other supportive methods. Ask questions too. Is this still feel right for me? Whose expectation or idea was this? Was this, for the seller's profit or truly for my wellness? Have I really sat with this long enough to know that this is the right decision for me? Or did I just rush into the decision because I was ready for a quick fix? I urge you to continue searching for the root cause. Don't just follow blindly, question everything, and seek alternatives. And now that cannabis is mainstream, we have to seek alternatives to the alternatives. But holistic choices, like true wellness foundations, that's not alternative. That's just going back. We're going back to old school consciousness. How do I heal? Using the land, using food, using my community. How do I heal in these old school ways? At going back in time. So I'm for growth. I'm not for stunting or covering up symptoms of a deeper problem. The excitement around the healing abilities of CBD led to a lot of bad information being passed around. A lot of people got and are being taken advantage of. This is definitely not for growth. This is marketing at its lowest form. And unfortunately, consumerism is at the heart of that, selling sneakily to those who won't get healing from it solely for your own profit. So again, we have to question everything. Cannabis culture can perpetuate the myth that humans need substance to passively and soothingly glaze over the core of their problems, to not even look at it, but just to cover it up and deal with their unhappiness, their stress, their diet, and their trauma with numbing. And all of our very real, very normal, very common trauma and human issues, we can pick at those. We can pick at them ourselves. We can pick at them with the help of therapists or healers, people who want you to get to the core of it so you can start to make real change and live a different life that feels better and one that doesn't require substances to continuously bury them. I do have a program called Natanum. Natanum is the word for seek, to seek in Michif, and I love the word because it literally says not to numb. So Natanum is a 10-week program that I created to blend spiritual truths and sobriety into a 10-week support program for you to get off substance dependencies, whether it's booze or cannabis. Supplementing your balanced diet with omega-3 can help the body produce more endocannabinoids. So omega-3 fatty acids, like those that are found in avocados, coconut oil, grass-fed beef, and fish, those are precursors to our own endocannabinoids. So the translation, our body basically makes its own weed from healthy fats. Depression, anxiety, and other mood disorders are thought to be directly related to imbalances with neurotransmitters. So I talked to another very, very smart woman in my community. I talked to Dr. Megan Kimberly in Penticton, and she shared with me the biggest pro-marijuana argument is being deficient in certain neurotransmitters, but those are just another brain chemical. There are botanicals that do the same thing. So if you're going to do it anyway, the most important thing to make sure that what you're doing is safe. Unfortunately, I've already seen and heard stories of folks losing their mental health to really powerful edibles from dispensaries. This scares me. I don't want to add to that number in my lifetime. And 2 is already too many. If you're looking to treat a serious condition, one that requires daily use of drugs, you need to talk to a naturopath or a doctor first. Consider other methods. Consider other methods working on the root cause before you to turn to this to add to your wraparound wellness work that you're doing on it. So you got to know who's making it. There's a lot of scam artists out there, and a lot of them are playing fast and dirty. So you have to be really suspicious, be really cautious. Turn off the apps that make you stressed, right? Like we're in a world of constant marketing. The only way to turn that off is to spend less time on the apps where you're constantly seeing that and constantly feeling, oh, maybe I should go buy this. Maybe I should go buy that. Don't take risks, right? With anything, with any food or supplement or anything that you're, feeling rushed or pressured into buying. It's better to be safe than sorry. Just, clean and organic is your best choice. But big marijuana, just like big food, they're not going to concern themselves with proper ethics, clean, organic. It won't be proper practices like that. Caring for the land, the soil, like that's not going to be priority for them, right? For them, it's solely about profits. So yeah, I'm just going to say avoid big marijuana. no matter where you're getting it from, ensuring that it isn't isolated or synthesized CBD, insist on the real deal because the plant does it better. So neither CBD or THC are your only option. They're definitely not necessarily the best option, definitely not a cure-all. So, at the end of the day, Pink Floyd said it best. We all just want to not feel lonely. Hey, you out there in the cold, getting lonely, getting old, can you feel me? We all just want to soothe ourselves and temporarily remove us from uncomfortable feelings of being human. I mean, that's our trauma, right? It is uncomfortable being a human. But cannabis acts as a Band-Aid solution to this. If you need medicine, whatever that looks like, to regularly remove you from your experience of reality, I'd like to pose this question to you. What is it in your reality that's so painful, that's so uncomfortable? What are we trying to escape from, right? We want to question that. And a more mental health supportive diet is key. Healthy fats are key. Exercise, having a therapist, having a community, friends, people around you that support you, that make you feel happy, that encourage you, that are positive. And starting on this wellness journey, letting this mess unfold of our digging into ourselves. And just start watching this unraveling. You can become a new version of yourself. It's messy, but dependencies are messier. So I've lived this, I've seen it, and now I'm in a place to offer a bridge to others who want to walk away from it. So again, my program Natinum, I'd love to encourage you to check it out if you're like, I'm totally done with these dependencies in my life. And if you're ready for that, but you're like, I'm not really sure if I feel called to Natinum, just still reach out to me. I have other places and people that I could refer you to. I just want people to be able to have these conversations about it. So I'm able to explore this safely with you. I'm here for you. And thank you so much for listening today. Thanks for listening. You can find me online at www.rainadonlutz.com.